Good. Sure, let me think. I seen you go.
How you doing?
When you read it, you said.
We're gonna call the December 9th, 2025 city council meeting to order. Remind everybody to silence their cell phones. Ms. Anita's gonna lead us in an opening prayer, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Humble and gracious Father, we come to you right now, Lord, with our ears and humble hearts, Lord. Till we thank you, oh God. Thank you, God, for waking us this morning and preparing each and one of us to go our ways, God, as you direct us. We ask you right now, Lord, to decrease each and one of us up on this podium and make the right decisions for the city. In these blessings, we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Bronze.
Here.
Councilman Hampton. Councilman Woodhull.
Here.
Councilman Landry. Here. Mayor Kitchen.
Here. Item number 3, approval of items on the consent agenda. Approval to read by title only, resolution 2025-34, resolution 2025-35. Have a motion? Motion.
Second.
Councilman Bronze.
Yes.
Councilman Hampton.
Yes.
Councilman Woodhull.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. Item number 4, receiving requests from the general public. Is there anyone here who wants to speak who is not on the agenda? Andy?
Fort, Andy Jackson, 411 Plantation Road. Hey, I'll be brief and complimentary. You folks in the city of Perry have received a historic grant for your infrastructure. I want you to know that's like lightning striking twice. This will probably never happen again in the history of this city or this county. And a lot of credit goes to a lot of people, including the city council, including our city manager, John Hart, including Amir and his staff. But I want to point out that all of these questions about your infrastructure started with Duke Energy and their site readiness project. That's where we found out that there were some opportunities to improve both our water and wastewater. So when you go, guys, give credit to everybody. Remember your folks at Duke Energy for starting this process of just simply asking the questions. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much for everything you did. Oh, yeah, wonderful. Okay, item number 5, bids and RFQs. We still have the 2 deals.
We just have one bid,
One, okay.
the insurance,
All right,
we got to redo the whole one.
all right.
I think there's something we're supposed to read before, but we don't have all that info, but we know what it is. So the first one is. Yeah, these are just RFQs, RFPs. Okay, so we'll read who it is. Ma'am?
Oh, barn.
No,
Insurance broker.
the pole barn has to be redid. This one is from Boyd Insurance and Investments.
This was blue insurance, this was one.
Everything but health insurance.
And this one is from Hub Public Risk Incorporated.
What's the first name?
Hub, HUB, Public Risk Incorporated. And we only received the two.
That's what came in the box.
Yes, it's a bunch of binders.
Okay. So I think clear.
It's a bunch of binders. And that's all.
You said two?
It's two.
What
All we
was the
received.
second one?
The first one was Boyd Insurance and the second one was Hub, HUB,
Oh,
Public
great.
Risk. Incorporated.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's no quotes. No dollar amount.
This
This
is-
is proposal.
Right.
Okay.
Their dollar amount probably is in there, but it wasn't apples to apples. We want to see how they would go about solving this problem we have. So they give you the proposal, how they would do it and what it would cost. And I was gonna take a whole month to rank them, but I got them already ranked 1 and 2. These are our top 2. Then we get them to come back at the next meeting and give their presentation.
Sure, if they want to, yeah, that'd be great.
And I was gonna rank, if there was 5 of them, I was gonna rank the top 2 or 3 and have them come present. If I only have 2, bring those 2.
Worked. All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to general business, 10 out of 6A. Thomas Everett second, Tommy Everett's is going to address the council, and council will take any action if necessary.
Good afternoon, council.
Afternoon.
My name's Thomas Everett II. I'm at 2847 Fisher Road. Just a little bit about me. I've lived here 54 of my 58 years of in Perry, so I consider this home. This is my father's home. I always said growing up, as I got older into high school and everything, politics didn't interest me. Didn't really like politicians because in most cases, they always have their own agendas instead of the agenda of the people they're supposed to be serving as a group. And with that in mind, for the last 17 years, 2008 to 2020, I was back and forth from here in Albany, Georgia, with Procter & Gamble, and every time I come home, I'd read the paper. And I'd read and read, and I'm fine. Okay. So in 2020, I come home about when COVID was kicking off. They'll take care of my mother. And again, this time I had plenty of time with the schedule I work now to read the paper. Gotta say, I'm not gonna be necessarily as complimentary as the fellow that spoke before me. A little bit disappointed. I mean, there's no children here, we're all grown-ups. But when I read in the paper, and when I've come and seen for the last couple of months, and I've been here in the county commission meetings, I think there's a lot of irresponsibility in some of the requests that are being asked for grants. I know it's grant money. It's not coming out of your pocket, so to speak, but it's got to be spent. But in the last 2 or 3 years, with everything that's happened in Perry, Florida, I think, in my opinion, we could use some of these dollars a lot more wisely than some of the requests I've heard, one specifically that really kind of chaps my butt is the one about the pool. Because to me, that's a very luxury item. And I did hear it asked to be put on the 5-year agenda. I'm not sure what's on the 5-year agenda list. But at the same time, it seems like it's a localized area where it's being requested to be put back. And all the other ones have been voted along with it a long time ago for whatever reason, whether it's cost of maintenance, cost of staff, it lack of interest. And I did a little more digging, and I want the board to consider this when they're thinking about it, or if they do go with this project. I went to the FDLE website. And within, we can do a 1 or we can do a 2 mile radius of that location of sexual predators and offenders. So if we go 2 miles out from 1201 Martin Luther King Avenue, it shows me 21 sexual offenders, 4 sexual predators, 2 multiple offenders. And then if we go just 1 mile out, it goes to 9 sexual offenders, 2 sexual predators, 1 multiple offender. So I hope whenever you consider that project, that weighs heavily in your decision in whether to do it or not, because that's basically, feeding them the candy is right there for them. And that's just the ones that are registered. Who knows who might want to join that list, but right now we don't know who they are. And I can give you a little more information about that if you want to look at it. All you gotta do to find out anything about them, you just touch the top of the house that it shows. And it'll show you exactly who they are. And this isn't a race thing based on the address. Because they're white, black, Hispanic, they're all there. So that to me would be very important if I were a parent. Whether you're a single parent, you're a full mother, father, parent raised child. Couple other things in reading the paper, and I'm basing a lot of what I've written down on what I've written or read. Comments, basically about money. When I read that the cost of a vehicle isn't necessarily as important as the cost of this water project we're talking about doing out on the, what's that right there?
Go. On the Gulf.
No.
Old Dixie.
Old Dixie, yes. Right now, every dollar is important. Every dollar is important. At least to me it is. I don't come from money. And I was raised to respect your money and, you try to do the right thing. And I ask everybody here to, maybe once we get straightened out, then let's look at some of the luxury stuff. Because right now, I don't think we have the luxury of considering luxury. We need to take care of the roads and maybe some of the buildings. That to me is important.
Question, do you consider the water project a luxury?
No, ma'am, that's a necessity.
Okay,
No, when I'm talking about luxury, I'm talking about a food.
yeah, I know,
That's a luxury.
but the way you phrased it, it sounded like you were against the water project,
No.
because it was a luxury.
That's not what I'm saying. Sorry, you misunderstood me. Another thing I've heard, in bringing in new business. I've heard people talk about, well, let's not sell ourselves out, sell ourselves short. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't, instead of telling them what we can give them, what we can do for them, why don't we ask them basically what they need? Instead of just throwing the farm, just throwing it all out there, and maybe we give them more than what they really need. Ask them what they need. Some question. What do you need for us to get you here? Might save some money. And if this group, I'm not sure how much y'all have to do with attracting new business or what your part is in it. It's gonna be hard to get another cash cow like we had out there for as long as we did. It made a lot of millionaires in this county. At one point, I was part of that. And when I got on there, I was hoping to become one of those millionaires right along with everybody else. Well, it fell through. Didn't happen. But you gotta pick up your boots, keep going. What I would like to ask y'all is if you play a part in that, or know somebody who does, maybe, and you can look right down the strip right now. What we're attracting, about all we can attract, seems like, are poverty level jobs. Who's gonna stay at those jobs? Long term, not very many people. It's gonna be a revolving door. If you have any influence over it, maybe consider something that's not a poverty level job. That the young people one day can come into. Like I said, it's gonna be hard to beat that out there on a financial end, retirement end.
You might want to speak with the commissioners
I'll be there.
on that.
I'll be
Yes.
there. 16. Okay, the other issue I'd like to bring up is, you did one, actually, I actually pulled it up right there before I got to talk about the, website. I actually was able to find the date and time that it was today. So thank you for that. Another thing, and I know you wanted to revisit, I remember you, saying you wanted to revisit the, extra day and which one y'all might want to eliminate for 2026. I think if I worked as one of the city workers, if it were possible, I think it's very empowering to maybe have that little bit of say to say, hey, as a group, maybe put something in your check envelope. Ask him as a group, what day do you want to live? Instead of it being set by you or him, maybe let your employees say, hey, and majority rules, let them choose. Because there have been things thrown at, business where it's all mandates like, yes, you gotta do it because we're the law, we're the government. Too much government. We've got way too much government. And I'm starting right here in this city, we got too much government in this city, too big for the size we are. I do wanna say a little bit about what really bothered me earlier when I spoke about the pool was, it's easy to ask for that kind of money because it's not real money right now. It's an ask. But the part that I really had a problem with was when this man right here asked to amend his budget or project amount where he needed $600. And basically he was scoffed at for that. Now, I think y'all had a point that the environment those booths were gonna be in, they didn't need to be going home with him or used for anything but work and the job he's gonna be doing. I agree with you on that. But I hope y'all found it some way. When you can ask for $2 million, $600 is a drop in the bucket. I almost started to pay for my dang self, just as a citizen. I think I even heard him say he would do it. He shouldn't have to do that. Okay, so that policy, all right, so is there a policy in place with people's job descriptions? Because I've heard rumbling, people talking about, why you guys are do 4 o'clock meetings. Okay, very hard for most people maybe at the earliest get off at 4 o'clock on normal jobs. And okay, maybe you don't get participation. Some of that could have been from the website not being updated. I don't even know how long you have a website. But, so I consistently went. Today's the first day I went to it. Luckily, and I actually was able to see it, so I'm glad to see that. But if you know from history that if you were to say go back to 5, just say give it a try and then you don't get participation, okay, maybe we will warrant 4 o'clock. But in my experience, most people that have salary positions, there's usually a clause in there where basically your day don't stop, particularly at 4 or 5 o'clock. You go till the job's done. And that's in most cases that I've been involved with, that's the understanding of accepting a salary position. Is that you may have to go to a 5 o'clock meeting a couple times a month. That you're going to be late for dinner or something with your kids or your family. Trust me, I did a lot of sacrificing when I was at that mill. I did a lot of shift work, did a lot of hours. So I would appreciate y'all if you consider that. And I think with that, I'm going to stop there. But if anybody is interested in looking up that information I told you about sexual offenders and predators, all you got to do is go to the FDLE website. and it will show you. And you can look yourself, you don't have to take my word for it.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, a pool is not a luxury. It is a need. You can tell it. Children need to learn how to swim and learn for safety. We are surrounded by water. Now, I don't want to bring any race into it, but I have to. The majority of black kids do not know how to swim. The majority. They're those who have a pool. They don't have the luxury of having a pool. We have to look out for them as we look out for others. Now, as far as sexual predators, that's all around Delaware County. Not just around in that area. Now, if you think that the pool should be located somewhere else, I understand that. But there is a need. It's not a luxury, it's a need. Now, it's going back to the meetings. We said here, I've been in since 2012. 5 o'clock, there's no one. 6 o'clock, there's no one here. And they are aware that we have meetings. Now, it's up to council if they want to take it back to 5 o'clock. But your reasoning for it is shown not to work for us or for anyone else. Now, we keep the meeting going, and anytime someone walks in and they need to talk to council, they are allowed to. And we stay as long as we have to. We don't get out of here at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It depends on what is brought before the council. There was one other thing. Now, it is our responsibility to set policies and everything else. It is not up to the employees to decide what days they have off. That's why they are given to personal holidays that they can take off at any time. Now, the city is also our responsibility to think of the quality of life in the area. Judd has done a very good job of taking care of what needs to be done with the city. So the pool is not anything that's going to happen tomorrow. But it is a need, and there are a lot of people who feel this room and on the outside agreeing with motivation. But I thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
And I think based on your comments, I think I might need to comment a little further.
Go ahead. If it's
All right, so we listen to agenda items.
okay.
Ended out, and that's why I asked for it, because I knew we'd take off in the 5 minutes as a
Go
normal citizen.
ahead, Mr.
So, since you want to bring race into it, so let's bring race into it.
Okay,
Ma'am,
that's it.
white children aren't born from the womb and knowing how to swim either.
No,
I learned how to swim in a creek, away from alligators, snakes, make it swim real fast, make you learn a little quicker.
I understand.
Personally, I wouldn't have a problem with the request for a pool. If we're a little more centrally located for everybody to use,
I agree.
okay? And I guess another question I would have is cost to maintain it, the cost to staff it. Now you have to create jobs. You have to have certified lifeguards to oversee it. Would there be security?
All of that could be included. And
At whose cost? At whose cost?
the pool is not free. There will be a cost for them to attend. Now, all of that has not been meshed out. But I'm sure that the pool would be able to, I don't know the word to use. Help me.
Maybe self-sustaining.
Yes,
So the fees at some point, whatever it's decided they should be for a child and for a parent to use the pool. That money would be used for the chemicals to maintain it. For the staffing to staff it. For the training to train lifeguards, which I'm sure isn't cheap.
well, at some point, the city's gonna have to do something.
So you're talking
So
about
I'm not-
taxpayers, right?
Um,
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Sir. The only thing I'm gonna say at this point is that there's a need for a pool. And I will be advocating
Yeah.
along with everyone else that's gonna attend the meeting.
And you can bet I'll be at that meeting.
That'll be fine, sir.
I'd like to see it included in the school. Because, it is teaching.
I think that would be appropriate, because then every child could use it. And it'd be under a certain amount of supervision from the teachers that are there.
And there are places where
I would
it's
be
included.
Completely amenable to that,
Yeah, correct.
So the problem is where it's located.
where it's being
It
asked.
sounds like it would be. Well, then.
It sounds,
It doesn't matter to me where it's located, as long as we have. I mentioned Jerkins because it's already set up. Was a pool for.
used to be a pool, right?
Yes, it was, a pool.
The Boys and Girls Club is now,
Yeah.
the high school, that
that
Yeah.
pool predates the Jerkins pool.
Right, and
That
there was one over by the football
by the old
stadium.
hospital. That's what-
Yeah.
That's what.
And
So-
this- The one over by the hospital does not have. The showers and everything, all of that is included in Jerkins. And at that time, we did have different races come and use that pool. So I don't really think that's a problem, because our children get along better than we adults do,
They're probably the same.
I agree with that.
and also.
Thanks for your time.
Yes. Thank you.
Mayor Ward. Mayor Ward,
Yes, ma'am.
may I, maybe just add something to the dialogue, just because it seems timely an issue, regarding, potential opportunities for grant money for pool and water safety. I did attend the Florida League of Cities Legislative Conference this past week, last week. And actually, a part of my discussion about the things that I was learning was, and I kept in mind the projects that the members have talked about that are not necessarily our funding priority. And one of them happened to be water safety, attached to potential revenues or avenues by which we may be able to start the process of trying to gain momentum to justify, as well as provide grant money specific for water safety that may assist in small portions of creating an opportunity to justify a pool. So I thought if I could just speak to that real quick, since we're talking about that now, and I did not know that that was one of the issues that would be talked about. But I mean, Councilwoman Hampton said it very correctly, but I was surprised in some ways that the Department of Health actually has a pretty big initiative right now regarding water safety. That's based on seconds given. Second saves lives. Right now, Florida has always been a part of the top states that have had the most drownings, based on, we are a peninsula, it's a tourist attraction. But when it comes to deaths of 1 to 4-year-olds, we're the number one state in 2025 that had the highest deaths. There's already been, well, I don't know when the statistic was taken, but there's been over 100 fatalities of young people dying And that may not sound a lot when you have millions in the state, but that number is pretty high. And so I was just noting that the state of Florida and the state of Florida legislature has been described as making a priority the idea of water safety. And one of the issues that have come up, just like with a number of facilities that used to be free and prevalent, or the hospitals locally, but there's not many public pools anymore. And it's really hard to teach water safety without a water source. I also wanted to know that there are pool safety grants that are being made available. In fact, next June, there will be vouchers permissible to help pay for people to get swim lessons. I'm very curious as to how that may work for people in areas like ours that has no public facility, private or government ran, that it may be something that could be coordinated with the schools, like getting kids up to Tallahassee. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I just wanted to know, because I was gonna talk about it as a part, that because of water safety and the idea that we are having so many drowning deaths in lakes, in pools, in open water resources, because our children, there was no breakdown of race, but our kids to live in a state that's surrounded 3 sides by water, they're not learning how to swim. So I just wanted to note that there may be some resources that we didn't know of that may assist in those efforts, because I could imagine that water safety, along with other positive things that come from the city investing in this, would be something I think would be really important in pushing forward. And I already noted that we did used to have at least 2 pools. I know I had one, we had 2 pools. I live over here, I grew up over here by the old Perry Primary. And the general pool that's where the Boys and Girls Club now is where I learned how to be a lifeguard, a junior lifesaver, and actually, maybe I was weird, but all the Black people I knew how to swim then. And it may have been because, we just all knew how to swim, and I did have a pool. But just the idea that regardless of race, demographically, I think it is a positive opportunity to help increase the protection of our children. So that's what I was gonna share as a part of my review of what I learned at the legislative conference. And they do have a new grant. It's not that new, but it's relatively new now with AI and more available with the grant assistance program that the Florida League of Cities has, where they're actually begging for cities to try their services to see if maybe grants that were so much harder to locate back in the day with AI has become much easier. And so I'll end with that.
Thank you. Agenda item 6B, Fedora to discuss recent SRF funding announcement and steps moving forward, and council taking action deemed necessary.
Thank you, Council, and the Mayor, as you all know, I read through the news, the city got pretty substantial grant from SRF. It's good, I think it's one of the biggest grants city ever got. And I'm here to answer any questions. I think the newspaper did a wonderful job. I think we put everything in place, so I'll be glad to answer any. And then I'll give you update on what's the next step will be, so.
It's gotta be completed in 5 years.
Yes, the project has to be done in 5 years, typically, so the next step will be is the city will get a letter, because it's, it just got announced at 30 days. And then after that, we will put an application together. And once we do the application together, we'll have to do what is called a planning document where we will identify the projects that can be done. The way it was ranked, I think the city was ranked #1. So that means any fallout money, which no other people don't take, the city is eligible for the funding because they were put on the bottom. So they were given #1 on the water side, and then they was #1. So any funding, if somebody doesn't take, city will get it first. So we have quite a bit of, projects. We put it in as many projects as we could.
Do we get that automatically or do we have to apply for it?
So no, it's automatic. It's really boils down to you will not know for another year or so because, everybody has to put their application in, everybody has to get their reports in, and then DEP, if they deny anybody, then you can automatically get those. Another good news is we have 14 other applications now. So this is one, those will be CDBG-DR, and we will know probably what, February, March?
No, it's closer to the end of the year,
Yeah.
move it back.
I don't know, it's probably either end of the year or first of the year, so once we receive all of those, we'll come back and put a full plan together. So right now, what we are doing and what we did is we just put the 16, 17 applications out to different agencies, and the good news is we've got two of the big ones approved, and hopefully we'll get some more, and it will be more towards individual projects, so. With that, I'll answer any questions you have. The next step will be you'll get a letter, then we'll go do a report, and once that report is approved, it will be engineered and go ahead and do for construction. We got 5 years to.
Thank you so much for your help in helping us secure those funds.
Yeah, and this is a team effort, the city staff was there,
Yeah.
Mary Gavin, there's about 20 other people involved in it. And we all work together, put it all together, including DEP folks, even though they gave us a hard time on defending our projects, but, we were able to defend it. And then you have good things ahead because you have 14 pending right now. So hopefully we'll get some of those. If I take one more minute, the well projects, I think you approved. So we are in the process of, doing a test well. That is scheduled for.
That's the new,
That's the new.
property?
Yes.
Okay.
That will be, he gave me a date somewhere in the second week of January. Then they'll do the well drilling, and they're fixing to send me they need some path clear to get the equipment out there to do the drill. That's well, so we're gonna give it to John. And then we'll have to work out the detail on how to clear it.
How about that new traffic?
We're tearing out houses and we're doing all
Uh,
painting it.
So I think we're in the, step in the right direction.
So are you going to follow this from beginning to end? Who's going to take care of the cost, everything you have to be contracted? Okay.
Yeah, we have, Mayor knows more about it, so we were fortunate enough that, or unfortunate, 5-6 years ago when I lived in Panama City, we had the hurricane, we had the similar issues. There was similar fundings, so we knew,
That's, I never.
so we knew about it. So we, as soon as Patty was there, and we put together the plans together and said, okay, this is how we want to do this whole project. So Panama City project is just finishing up. They were not as fortunate as you are. You got all grant, they have to pay back some because of their size. So there is, it's quite a bit of work. You have quite a bit of things to put together. Once we know all the grants we applied for, I'll say by March, we'll put a plan together, bring it to you and say, this is how we have to do it. There are some challenges which you already face now is the labor force. Because you have to do these projects, and that will be the biggest challenge. So the way we have done in the past, rather than we will meet with some of the contracting community here and see what their project sizes are. And if they're, if they're smaller contracts, so we may have to do some small projects. And then maybe 1 or 2 big projects. So that's how we have to work through. We will standardize all the work, how we get these projects, because 5 years is gonna take approvals. Right now, we don't even have a letter. So once we have all that, you'll be middle to end of next year before we put any shovel in the ground. So
When is the clock gonna start on the 5 years?
it's already started.
It's already started.
It already started.
Gotcha.
So they are, it's up to DEP to send us the information. So we'll move forward fairly quickly on it. So we have a lot of experience doing similar work, so we can get it moving quick.
Does the project with Warner Ave and Glen Street fall anywhere on this, or
So the way
how
we,
does that work?
so the way we did is, these projects are approved as whole,
Mhm.
and the funding is not there yet. So once we have the funding, then we can work out how we, which one comes first, which one comes second. So right now, we just put everything together as well.
So the lift station is.
The lift station is already going. Yeah,
It's coming through the RIF grant.
it's a RIF grant, so it's design, under design, we just had a review meeting. So in 3 months, we'll have that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about the piping? How long are we out on that one?
That one's.
With the piping, Sean
90%.
probably could tell us more, with the piping under the road on Glen.
Those, Andrew, we did the 90% review.
Yes.
Yeah, we're fixing to have the last review for here December for the RIF grant one, but she's talking about Glen Street.
Mhm.
Glen Street.
With the piping,
Well, I on Glen Street.
the pictures that you showed us of the piping under the ground
Yeah,
on Glen.
I have pictures, some of the work we done. Where we rerouted force main from Buffalo that dump into Glen Street and, whenever my time goes around, I can go. We haven't done the inside of the wet well yet, but we're probably gonna do it next week or so.
Yeah, that project, I think we are doing in-house, so
Okay.
the city staff is, I think, amazing on some of those work. He's gonna help us on, save quite a bit of cost by doing in-house work, because we don't have to pay contractor to do it, so there's a lot of work that can be done.
Which you offer.
I have a question about labor, because actually, it's my question. And then for you to say labor force may be the biggest challenge. So I have two questions. One is, what, percentage typically would we expect to increase labor opportunities in the next 5 years based on this in our town versus the professional that may be coming out, who's heading up the vision? And number two, is there a benefit or any consideration in coordinating with our local vocational college to use this opportunity to sort of direct people towards a type of skill building that would enable them to get a job or be available to be used as that labor force that we already may be lacking, and just by visually thinking of numbers?
So, in the next, by March, we'll know all the grants, and by, end of next year, we'll know when to, what projects will be. So that may be an opportunity for us to sit down and give them, that a majority of those projects will be for water and sewer, pipe layer, pipe fitters, which is historically have worked in the paper mill, so there may be some synergies there. So we can meet with them and tell them these projects are coming in, but the employment of those will be through a contractor. So that's something, some of the contractors have to employ.
Right, so with your work in, say, Panama City, when you did this, did the council or were the perimeters to direct that where possible, a percentage of the labor force could come from the local talent if qualified? Was there any coordination as to the people and the citizen of the city benefiting also, especially since there's a labor shortage, so was there anything done in coordination like that in the Panama City?
So you cannot, because of federal funds and state funds.
We're
cannot-
limited.
Yeah, you are very limited on that side of it. But I can tell you that the money that is being paid to the workers has to be prevailing wages. That means the labor department will be paid how much is the minimum, and those are pretty decent amount of money that can be paid to the labor.
Basically, would be hand labor as much. Because you already have here.
It actually, really, these projects will last about 4 or 5 years, and you will have it from the project manager side all the way down to the labor. So you will have every step. So it's gonna be somewhere between, $50 million plus injection into the economy, which you don't have it right now. It's a good thing. Yeah, if you divide by the population, it's a decent number, it's not a small number.
Well, pipe fitting and that sort of thing, which just some be a lot of, they already teach that at the Vodtech.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean, they have a great wealth.
I keep calling it the Vodtech, it's the Tech
Yeah.
College. This, they're teaching that now out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is the welding the welding program has not been in this part of that program.
Well, I can tell you any VOTAC on like plumber, pipe fitter, HVAC, there's so much demand in there, you won't believe it. They add-
I love it because particularly with our local high school and just so many things are happening at that program. But I've been surprised at how many young people are definitely open to learning a practical skill right now, regardless of their ability to go to college and just know that all that money, I think that would be a great PR opportunity also for the city people to like identify that this is also benefiting them potentially. Because when that construction starts and the roads start getting closed and people love to complain about progress, that's a really great way to remind them.
Sure, absolutely. We'll be glad to, once we have everything together, we'll be glad to sit down with the, VOTAC, we can say, like, this is what we are coming. We can give them a schedule and say, this is the type of project, and then answer any questions.
All right, any more questions?
We most certainly appreciate
Appreciate it.
you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go get my.
Agenda item 6C, council to discuss Jerkins Park fencing and survey. Council will take any action deemed necessary.
We talked about putting some fencing back at Jerkins. I was in the process of getting a survey anyway, because I was applying for a FERDAP grant for Jerkins and Lothridge. And our property line actually runs through this little covered pavilion area. We don't own where the fence used to be. I was curious where y'all wanted to go back with a fence.
How did we get away with that for so many years?
I don't know.
Who does all that?
The, whatever this leadership council, whoever owns it, yeah,
Okay,
they're a nonprofit.
yeah, that's. I was nothing was ever said there or other stuff.
I don't know if y'all want to put a fence down the property line or
I'm close to that, we should, we,
goes, we don't own half the pavilion technically,
Who owns it?
the leadership.
Jerkins.
it would allow us.
Oh, that
to
could
use
be
it.
worked out.
Maybe get something in writing saying, it could go back where it was, or,
All right.
just to make sure it's.
I'm sure that could be one.
It was,
Who's the head or
You'll work on that, just get a.
y'all know who they are?
I know, well, Ernestine Mitchell is now joining the zoning board, is one of the leaders.
She's
I don't know
the-
officially if she's the president still.
Teresa Copeland.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot your
That's
husband.
how Teresa's.
I think that could be worked out. I don't think they wanna lose traction with the fence.
It would be,
That's what my-
because they wanna do what's good for the kids anyway. I was just wondering how we got away with it with so many years.
All over
I bet
to,
it says anything.
that's all over to the sun.
We've been
Yeah,
surveyed out
Teresa
there
done.
plenty of times.
I do, I have it info.
Yeah.
But where do y'all actually want it? Back out here where it was?
Where was it?
I think it was out here, wasn't
Is
it?
that where it was? Yes, I mean.
The fence where, yeah. I just wondered where they're not able to go around and come through the park. Because they've made a whole track field back in that back area where,
Did you get a printout of this?
yes, I did.
Draw me where you want it. Give it to me when you're done. Next.
Where is the, okay, this is the basketball court. See, right there by that basketball court is where they're coming up. And following right there in front of it, sometime coming right across it and going back out towards the park area.
Could you all not meet at the park? Could you all not meet at the park?
Chain link fence is not gonna be sufficient.
No, I want looking for a chain link fence. I want
Stopping.
something where they're not able to ride through.
Now, it'll be tore down again. Usually they'll run over cars and then they'll keep riding. We've dealt with that in the past.
But if it's to protect the kids. We put it up.
Figure it out.
Agenda item 6B, council to discuss garbage truck grant. The council will take any action deemed necessary.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I can discuss this, but I can't vote. My daughter runs this program, the Volkswagen program.
Okay.
She's bought boats, trains, bigger boats, engines. And now they've got this garbage.
They pretty much created that just for us.
Yeah.
They made it so tight that only we would be able to fit into it.
I would, hope you're not through filling this out. Because this is actually zeroing in on Perry, Florida.
They did it on purpose.
And we just need to answer all these questions.
I've already turned it back in.
And I don't worry about, what destroying one, what we're gonna do. They'll work with us on doing that. But I think there's an excellent opportunity to get 3 trucks.
The problem is we only have 3 that, well, only 4 or 5 that really qualify, but one of the ones for sure we use every single day.
And I'm afraid you're talking about side.
And that,
What we call the flatbed trucks, trash trucks, the one without the grapple. We have 2 of those that are old, the older models that we still use.
You're talking about garbage trucks here.
Right,
New one.
but to scrap,
It can be other.
right, and one of them is a trash truck that we're having issues with right now. It's actually tore up, but we've told them not to fix it because of this.
so to get the 3 new garbage trucks, we gotta take 3 out of service completely, bore a 3-inch hole in them, cut them in half, pretty much.
They used to be, had to go from diesel to electric. And they're not real keen on electric.
I don't want electric garbage trucks.
Since the king
No,
is not keen on electric.
we will never get anything.
I don't understand why we have to bore holes in them.
It was an exhaust issue. They're trying to get older.
So you can't use them again.
Right.
Somebody might.
You gotta bore holes in them and cut them in 2.
Well, they don't want them to use again. They.
Environmentally,
Environmental.
okay.
So,
But
yeah.
for 400,000,
Now I understand.
I'll hold the drill.
But I'm gonna have to come back and ask y'all for a truck out of reserves that we hadn't planned
Yeah.
on to maximize this 1.2 million.
That's just normal.
Sounded like a big waste to me, but if it's normal, I'll rush.
The county is, they. It's kind of like maybe that clunker thing they were doing. You trade a car in,
Oh, yeah.
destroy it. Yes, that same type.
So will we be able to get 2 or 3?
3. 409 was a particular, 09 and before was the type of diesel they're looking for or something. Or vehicle or emissions.
That's
or
when they-
something,
About the time they switched to using the DEF and all that. Before that's pre-DEF.
the exhaust, something, yeah, some. They're regular engines.
Hmm.
What I call regular engines.
Battery engines.
One question. If we have 3 in operation now and only 2 that is inoperable, where will we get the 3rd one from?
We'll have to buy it.
By one and
No, we have 3. Sean has one that they use, but not all the time.
We use it every day.
Well, he's gonna have to not use it every day anymore. Andrew,
We pulled the back rig and all the heavy equipment with it.
he's gonna find another way. And Andrew's got one that you don't use every day, right?
No, it was our pump trailer truck. The only reason we used it for the water pumps is because it had a hydraulic power unit already built on the body. We just used that hydraulic system. And it was a large flatbed, so it was good for hauling some of the larger equipment, hydrants, and whatnot. But we have a way to get around that.
We've already made adjustments.
So that's what I'm saying, we're gonna have to pay, for the one truck we use, that we have to have, we have to buy it out of reserve, unbudgeted.
One to replace it, turn this one in to get it, yeah.
And maybe throw me some cash, I'll buy a used one.
And we gave you boots.
That's nowhere near enough.
But even if we had to buy 2 trucks, we're still coming out cheaper than 1 garbage truck.
Oh, yeah, or, I mean, you're spending $1.
Even
to
if
get
we
in,
had, yeah, exactly.
It makes,
That's good.
yeah, absolutely does.
Let's move, E to the next meeting. I think Scott wants to be here for it. I didn't realize he wanted to do that.
Okay.
John, before you move on, Mayor, I have just 2 questions on that. When this was originally proposed, we had talked about there was some that were maybe not in service that would qualify. I'm assuming that's not the case anymore.
We couldn't find any. I thought about buying
Couldn't
some.
find any that qualify, but when it was first pitched, am I wrong? We thought we might have 1 or 2 in the
I mean,
yard.
Andrew has one that we're not really using. He's gonna find a way to use a different truck.
Okay.
And at the time, we only wanted 2, because we just bought that one, but if we.
Now you have the possibility to get 3.
Yeah.
Is the
We really,
1.2 million period?
it's 400 per truck of the 3 trucks.
Can you get 3 trucks for 400?
No, it'll be like 425. With our
So you have
quote.
to pump, you have to contribute some to get it. And they're only garbage trucks, correct? So you're giving up some flatbed trucks, 1 flat.
One flatbed and 2
Well,
Kodiak.
that's not, yeah, that's.
But you're giving up non-garbage trucks to get garbage trucks.
Yes.
Correct?
The
And
water
are you
truck
getting a third?
used to be a garbage truck.
Taking her flatbed.
Of course, we're tabling agenda item 6E. Agenda item 6F. Resolution number 2025-35, budget amendment, police department, JAGC.
Hold on, man.
Sir,
If you vote on. Or if you want to get garbage.
six
truck.
E's.
What, no, if I don't have an agreement or anything with them, I submitted the application. They can always say no, but I know they made that program for us. They're gonna try to expedite it and get it out quick. But we don't actually have that grant yet. So there's nothing to vote on.
Well, if you want to go ahead and vote, you go ahead and move forward to it, if we do get it.
And I already did.
What's that?
I already moved forward.
Okay. All right, agenda item 6F, resolution number 2025-35. The budget amendment, police department, JAGC, narcotics grant. Resolution of the city council amending the budget of the city of Perry, Florida for the fiscal year October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
We've already been awarded, it's just cleaning the books up, getting it added into the budget.
Anything motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Manning,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Langman, Mayor Kitchen.
Yes. Agenda item 6G, approval of minutes, November 10th, 2025 regular session. Any changes or corrections?
Yes, you have a new one. They're highlighted, the 2 places that were changed.
On the first page, the only one go with this.
And then I have the one, about the meeting approval, it's like next to the last page is highlighted. It's just name changes is all it is, so.
Everything with the alarm silenced.
Motion to approve these minutes is written.
It was
Councilmember Grimes.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfolk.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. City manager? That'd be you.
What I got?
Could we talk about the Senate? Then.
Sure.
These are some of the examples.
You have this? Is there any extra things?
This is from the Signs Now Tallahassee Sign Shop. And they are working on some of the banners to go on Highway 19. But these are just a few of the examples, which there is more to come, and I will give to you as they are sent to me.
Okay.
But they are asking, once we decide that they would pay 50% before they start the printing process. And I guess that's what John would need to know. And we're thinking about starting this, at least the first or second week in January.
Start making them in or?
Well, they'll be done by the.
Oh, done, okay.
Yeah, so we can put them up.
We're probably gonna have to have brackets.
Yes, John,
I don't think they're all there anymore.
they have brackets as well. And they also suggested that at the end of the bracket that we put some type of tab on the end so it won't come loose. The way they used to do on Highway 19. I know I'm excited because it really makes a difference. Me coming into town.
So, are they gonna sell us more brackets or like?
They can,
It says here no brackets.
and they can,
Yeah, understand.
and I don't know whether John would give them something else.
If it gets above 10 grand, we'll have to bid it out.
You think that would, the breakers and stuff make it,
Brackets are more than the banner.
okay. So why am I doing this?
We've been talking about it a long time.
If we have to bid it out,
We have to come up with a design first to be able to bid.
Did we find places to put them?
Where they used to be on the
the
power
same
pole.
place they were.
Can you afford it? This sign costs $7,500 for one vinyl sign.
No, that's 40 signs.
Yes, it is.
No, it'd be 40.
Huh?
40.
No, for one.
No, it's 40.
One vinyl sign, $7,450.
No, man, that includes other.
They're 186 a piece,
What?
$186 a piece.
Yeah, they got it listed down as one, but they got part quantity for 40. It's written a little. It should say 40 individual price.
You better nail that down before we sign anything.
But I had some more food brackets.
We'll look tomorrow and see what's still there. And what ain't.
Okay.
Did you say we'd have to bid it out?
If it gets above 10 grand.
This is 74.50.
Yeah, so it might not be this company then, huh?
I think we're gonna have to be doing their work in there. And we can't use them. So how would I proceed, John?
We'll just see how many brackets we need. If all the brackets are there, we could go that way. We gotta see how many brackets we need to buy.
Okay, oh, all right, because some already have.
You go ahead and move forward with signs. Can you not?
One complete project,
But the brackets come from multiple places.
yeah. That's, I mean, that's the equivalent of Jamie buying 25 separate pistols. To keep it under a number.
Let's see, well, I just didn't know if these people sold the brackets as well.
They do,
They do sell.
All the people that sell the binders sell the brackets too.
Well, a lot of times it depends on what kind of brackets you get, it goes from multitude.
And they got heavy duty ones, they got ones that have springs on them that blow in the wind.
Everyone would want to welcome to hear that. Which ones would you all prefer? Either one.
I don't really like the one at the picture just because they're going 45 miles an hour. You don't have time to really stop and see what it is.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Which
too, one of
one?
these two,
Which one?
one of these two, what I was thinking. Well, John said you don't really ain't got time to see the picture.
I think I like the first
One up top here.
one.
What's one of them? See, what's got the orange and blue in it.
The top left one, that bottom picture, where is that at, period?
Don't,
Okay, that ain't period.
that don't exist no more.
Yeah.
No.
It's a memory.
History.
Just open for any changes.
Yeah.
Hey, I think adjourn. That's what we worked on.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess some of the adjourn.
Just those ones you sent me.
I like that.
Well, John, you have anything? Hope you have anything?
Yes, but I'll make it much shorter, and use the, email system. But as I already noted that, I had opportunity to go to the legislative conference this year, for Florida League of Cities. And as, just a reminder again, that the Florida League of Cities is also, advocates, to the legislature, and they had a number of platform issues that was addressed that I'll just send you, if you didn't already get it, through other means, what the platform resolutions were, things that were discussed that I think you could probably imagine as city officials, a number of those topics that were discussed, and including the idea of using local government continue to have authority over equitable property taxes decision, since it's such an essential way that we pay for services. And that was, they had a really big session on that, as well as there are communities that are pushing back on the Live Local Act that allows for very specific things regarding housing or workforce readiness to be able to set up in the zones that are not zoned for it, for the purpose of supporting the idea of more fair housing. The platform that they said that they're advocating for local authorities to maintain, being able to decide what is placed in their communities and things of that nature. And there was something that hit me really quickly and I can't find it, so I'll just move on. But that so as I don't even know if this is right to say as the state grows, but Florida is definitely one of the fastest growing states because of our lack of income tax and a number of other things in this political climate. So there definitely Florida League of Cities is pushing back on probably anything that tries to take the authority away from municipalities to decide for their communities versus having it be done in the state legislature, including like legislation that would try to restrict a municipal voters' authority to set their own election dates and things of that nature. Oh, this is the one I thought was interesting. That the Florida League of Cities supports legislation that provides a public records exemption for the personal information of municipal clerks, as well as investigative personnel and employees of the city who perform municipal elections work, and things of that nature. I wanted to, note, I grabbed enough for everyone if you don't have an updated, capital contacts, but unfortunately, I don't have a 5 with me or 4 with me, but if you want one, I make sure you get one. It was really great to everybody I saw, be like, we got $98 million. And then, of course, sometimes it was humbling, it's like, oh, well, we got 250 for da. But I don't care, like, this is Perry, Florida, we're not, a island, what do they call it, harboring islands in Miami that had like 5,000 people, but the median income is like $5 million a year. So it is quite an ask, and we were just, everybody seemed to be really happy about that allotment, and just suggested we make sure we get all of the money and to look after it, to make sure it's used in the right way. I'm already noted that the grants assistant program has expanded, and so all of us have access to it, and it's much easier to search now because of AI. And I wanted to also note, I wrote down so many things. My number has changed. And I'm actually in the process of looking for a new office space, but that number, and I can give it to you as well as email everyone, 850-273-5932. 850-273-5932. And I'll reach out to Stephanie to make sure she changes it on the website. I did have a great opportunity to connect with John yesterday about some of what I'm about to share next. One of the things that I enjoyed in going to some of the practical sessions that actually continued a conversation I've been having regarding how to build trust signals. It's a really popular term that's often used in branding, but because we're sort of like, some people call this the post-truth generation, where people don't believe, they almost by default believe people are not telling the truth, including their government, that, the use of social media, things that would make people feel like a part, to show and build confidence, or the idea of this transparency. Some of the ideas that I had regarding ways to build trust signaling, because it definitely, basically, if people don't believe that the laws work, they don't obey them. And a part of one of our biggest jobs is creating ordinances and then having, where possible, to enforce them. And I know sometimes that's lacking, but one of the simple ways, and I asked for this, I don't have a huge presentation about it, but I'm hoping that you'll hear my heart. Something that really hit me during another conference in the summer, but I didn't bring it to the council until I read more about it. I just didn't know if the timing was right. I think timing is right. I would love the council to give permission for me to explore what having a youth council could do, or be in Taylor County. Youth councils under Florida that are directed and use the policies of the Florida League of Cities Youth Council. The purpose is to not only basically help encourage young people, mostly high school student age people, to get an interest in local government, but also their families and anyone who's attached to them may also learn to appreciate more really what it takes to run a city. And there are some other positive things regarding trust signaling I think would help, because young people have more time, as well as they have a pulse of what's happening in the community, so we could also use them to help as they understand government, to do short posts about the workings that are happening in the city, particularly as we're looking at this grant being used to do a lot of stuff that people don't see outside of inconvenience, like, oh, the road is shut down, but what this does in our city. And I think it's a great opportunity also to have there to be just an opportunity to look at what could be our future elected officials, or people who see that they can actually make a difference in the community. And when I think of people even like Carly, and the more I learn about a lot of the history, even the people in this room, a lot of them started in high school, working at the police department or something like that. They felt like they could make a change. So when I asked for permission, what I would like to do is basically connect with the civic and history teachers in high school and ask if they would think that, or select 1 or 2 students to deal with a group of like no more than 8, maybe 5 to 8 students. And sort of survey them about interest in local government. Would they like to pretty much be like a test pilot for a youth council? So before them being officially established or have any, I don't wanna call it advisory rights, but there is in the Florida League of Cities Youth Council, there is a standard of them being held to Sunshine Line, all those kind of things. And I think because of that, I would want some time to see with these students what and if that would generate interest. So those councils are historically with Florida League of Cities considered advisory councils. So this would be a non-advisory youth council that I would ask that have a permission to identify in early January or maybe before school service is over, and have them in a way have a pilot youth council and see what it would possibly take to really create a full-fledged advisory council of youth. I know when I was in high school, I was a part of, and I don't know if they still do it. I was an advisory member of the school board for a year. And it definitely opened my mind up a lot about how things are done. That year, actually, it prompted me to petition the school to start a Black History class. The class itself, I think, lasted like 1.5 to 2 years, but it was very empowering. But also, we've already shared whether it's the agriculture program or other things that we're losing our youth. And as you can tell, I probably have a passion about young people, and I would just love to be able, within parameters, to be able at least to start gathering interested young people in a very short and very specific way to reflect on whether or not this type of youth council could be an asset to our community and most important, the city of Perry. And if you need more information, that's fine. But maybe this is just a precursor to January, but because I was not asking for the advisory authority, and I say authority loosely, because literally I hear their opinions. But I would like to at least try to identify some people before the spring semester.
I've always thought that was a good idea, no? To have this youth council. But for some reason, it didn't ever catch fire. But I'd be interested in it.
So is that a motion? Can I get a second and be authorized to move forward? Or would you like me to just present more in January?
We can, I mean, you need a vote on it, or can we just give a consensus to go ahead and move forward?
You can, again, because I didn't want potentially there to be some discussion. And it's like, wait a minute, we didn't have that brought before us. So I feel like it's a very innocent but helpful first step. But I wanted to pose that to the council to see if there would be any objections.
I like the objection to it.
Okay.
Sounds like it's a go.
Thank you. And that's all for me for right now.
Okay, Finance Department, Carly is on with a brand new baby. Congratulations to her and Danielle.
Thank you.
And mom and baby, you're doing good?
Doing good.
Chief?
This weekend, Saturday, we'll be holding our Shop with a Cop event. Been doing this about 14 years. Just a reminder, all this is donations from individuals, community, business leaders, and civic groups. The city does not contribute to this. This is all stuff the community does for us. We'll be taking about 45 kids shopping this weekend. That's it. And we have a resignation. We got an officer resigning to go somewhere else. So we're trying to find some more.
Don't really have anything.
Dude, know anything? Andrew? John?
Pull my pictures up, John.
What do you want first?
Give me the video. Please.
One.
Maybe one shit, that's just probably it right there. Yeah, that's it.
That's a video you take.
That is fourth main that comes from Bumblebee. And whatever reason, I caught the side, like the red rail on the street. And this caused way in there, and that is wastewater, so all the gases is what opened that pipe. Alright, so what we did was, we caught that force main. And we rerouted it out of the wet well into the force main that Glen Street uses to pump a Warner. Because we couldn't access the inside of that wet well to replace the pipe until that was rerouted.
Okay, well.
Basically, you took care of it, got it fixed.
Yeah, I had, and was hoping to walk through these pictures with you. That's, we've covered up, that's the outside of Glen Street, we're not through with it yet. We're gonna put us in a driveway, we're gonna, we're gonna try to make it look a lot better, as he pulls these pictures up. This is the guys in the hole, this is the pipe outside of Glen Street, there, that we cut out. That's, we had to dig between a light pole and the wet well and the, that excavator that the gas department bought, that Garrett asked for. Come in really handy, you can see how tight he is there.
Our technical says I want to cooperate tonight.
That's the front of Glen Street, that's in, that excavating out the pipe as we're starting. All right,
That's just that take easy one, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a computer fuel on that one too, wasn't it?
yeah. Go to the next picture of the pipe.
See your test.
All right, so we rerouted it, and now there's a bypass outside the front of the lift station. That's gonna allow us to isolate the station, get in it safely. Because there's so much water that comes out of the lift station from Buffalo, I mean, we would be engulfed with water, there's no way we could work in it. So, this is the first stage of the project. And like I said, the first picture, yeah, that picture right there. That's how far we had to run it. We caught it behind the station. And we had to put a couple bends in it to get it to the front of Glen Street lift station. And, that first picture wasn't covered up. Like I said, we're gonna try to put us a nice driveway in, and we're gonna try to make it look a little better. The second video, all right, this is when it starts playing. This is the inside of the clarifier at the plant. Those are holes better, okay? And it's wasting away, it's falling apart. Basically what that does is, as the raw sewage comes into the clarifier, it stops the turbulence and allows the solids to settle to the bottom, so the clean water goes top of the weirs. When this picture comes up, all right, that's the bottom of it. How we found this out was because the clarifiers are generally full of water. The rake at the bottom was bound up and it tripped it out, and it was that metal falling from that skirting that caused the binding. And it keeps falling off. This is the pile that we had Monday. That was last week. So I got a quote for repair. I think it was $110,000. Parts are about 20,000. And I think we might could do it in-house. We might have to rent a crane or something to pick the skirting up, because the skirting goes all the way around the inside of the clarifier. Leaves a small gap, like say if raw sewage comes in, it stops the turbulence, so it'll settle. We'd have to get parts in the clarifier, assemble it in the clarifier, and then lift it up until it's brackets, because it's off the ground about 2.5 feet. But and we're trying to limp it along. Maybe we can get, maybe when the grant money starts, this can be one of the first projects, but we're gonna monitor it. We've got it right now, and hopefully it will hold. The lack of rain has made the flows lower. So we don't really need to run it right now. If the flows got higher, we would. I mean, that's the only concern is, if it does go down during high flows, we wouldn't have enough retention time to, we wouldn't produce a quality effluent, and our lab test would fail. So. We got plenty of projects right now. Tomorrow, we're gonna do, Thule, we call it Thule Lift Station over there by, Lippert or Kirk Group now. I think the Votech, RDS, not RDS, what was that? Anyway, their sewage goes to Thule Lift Station. We're having some problems. One of the pumps isn't working, the foot piece at the bottom is not sealing. So tomorrow we're gonna go down in it, we're gonna cut it out, and we're gonna replace it. Hoping to do both sides in one day, but we just don't wanna do anything. We take it out and we remove it. We can't put the station back online, we can't bypass it, won't be good, so. We we try to do it in stages, we try to do it slow, we try to make sure we don't get ourselves in a pickle. But
Thank you for everything you mentioned.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
It's, yeah. Got a lot going on, but appreciate you getting it off, taking care of it.
And that's
Stuff that goes into the station and go, it's amazing what goes in.
yeah, like I say, like,
The skinny and everything.
and like I said, the excavator that Garrett got, the gas pump, we've used it quite a bit. It's been real, I love equipment. I like getting tools, help us do things. Sure. So I'm glad he got that. I do have I have all the equipment. John kind of knocked me for not putting the trench box in the hole, but we did bench the hole. And it was only about 4 foot deep at the deepest. I know it looks deeper than that, but it's not, so.
Anyway. Very good. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Hey, same thing, everything.
I do know something that's been bothering me quite a while, and I know it doesn't do anything about it. But 287G memorandum that we signed, I thought it was required of the city of Perry, but it's not. And from what I'm seeing on TV, it's just, it's sad the way we are treating people. And I surely hope and pray that that doesn't happen in Perry.
What information are you basing this? Are you accusing?
No,
of
I'm
something?
not you.
Okay,
It's not even, no,
I'm just wanting to clarify.
no, I'm not accusing you of anything. I just, I hope whenever ICE is here, if they come here the way they are in other places, I hope that we treat people as humane as possible.
We will continue to treat people as we do daily.
Yes,
There will be no change in what we do and how we do things.
right,
But if we're required to assist, we will.
but we were told that it was required.
It was implied by the governor's office that you will cooperate or he can have you removed from office. And that includes
I'm
me.
not concerned about it.
Well, I am.
I know that the county, they were required to participate. It's just sad the way that we're treating immigrants.
When you say we, please clarify,
Not
not
you,
us
Jamie.
locally.
Not you.
Okay, please. Because when this message gets out, it's gonna be skewed in a way as that we're treating people badly locally.
I'm not speaking of our city employees as a whole.
Speaking of,
I just-
speaking on what you're seeing on the news from
Yeah,
happening nationwide.
Yeah, and what I'm reading. I just hate that the city is even involved in it. That's it.
Otherwise, I think we're doing good. I think we're coming along. I think we got a lot to make up for, and we're tackling it one at a time and doing a good job at it. I appreciate all of y'all on the job day to day.
Dana,
See,
it's fine.
Safe, enjoy the
Holidays.
yes.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and thank you all for everything. We'll see you next year.